I'd like to talk about the blame and shame game. Blame others and you expose your own secret failings. When I was young, about 70 years ago, the prevailing fashion was to blame everything on mothers. The original sin of our ancestors Eve, who brought about the downfall of Adam, was transferred to the mother. This was ordained by a present prophet of the unconscious, Professor Freud. As he was a scientist and had a beard, he was regarded as infallible as the Pope. Mother was the spider lurking in a minefield of complexes, derived when we were helpless children. My sister Barbara was a born leader and enthusiastically joined in this entertaining blame and shame game as a guide to myself and our two younger brothers. And what a mother we had! She became a legend in her time, thanks to us. My mother, Nora Parsons, was the only child of a British general. He adored hunting, so when his wife presented him with a mere girl, he had to face a choice, not a hard one. Another baby, hopefully a boy, or a horse. Naturally, he chose the horse. To adjust matters, he brought his daughter Nora up as a boy. From an early age in India, she did not have an ayah, but a soldier servant to empty her potty. She had a little military uniform. I have a photo of her as a tiny soldier. She worshipped her father, who when she was 5 put her hands round a pole with a beefsteak bait wedged on the end to tempt a shark. The cream of her successes came when she was 17 and shot a crocodile. Barbara would achieve a Freudian success with student boyfriends by showing the crocodile's head on a wall with his bared teeth and explain, "My mother shot that." My grandmother, despised by her daughters feminine, was determined to get her married. So Laura was forced to dress well. Actually, she did have a brilliant mind. I think he said she had the most brilliant mind of any woman he'd met. I don't know what the other women were like, but that was good because we wouldn't notice that. She had been beautiful, with a strong tan skin, very brown and muscular. She had an 18-inch, no, it was a 24-inch waist for her wedding gown for her marriage to my father, aged 21 and 4 years younger. I'm sorry to say she falsified the church register, saying that he was 25. It looked better. My father, a strong character with scientific bent, had been spiritually guided by some spiritual power, he was a Mason, to propose to my mother. He told me that they struggled for power throughout the honeymoon. He hadn't a chance, so he decided to give in. So the Freudian view suited our family. One of my mother's cousins, Mary Comerford, had roamed the Wicklow Hills, Mummy told me, shooting British soldiers with a sawed-off shotgun. Another, the Honourable Florence Gibson, had shot off a bit of Mussolini's nose. My mother said if she'd been a nearer relative, she'd have got him. Actually, that wasn't fair. He moved. And the rest of our neighbours followed the same pattern. Dominant women, intellectual, henpecked men. Intellectuals get henpecked. They don't go in for promotion, you see. My brother, a clergyman, and I were enthusiastic for the cause of the goddess, which is very unusual. We were pioneers. Late in the 20th century came a startling change against patriarchy. It began with the words satanic abuse, and soon changed to clerical abuse. Most of us women were totally nonplussed. Apparently we were victims, and had been victims for millennia without realizing it, or indeed experiencing it. The old Irish rhyme, "Women are evil, men are dumb, they torment them just for fun," seemed to suit us in a way. But it has to be changed now that we've become victims without realizing it. It was men are evil, women are dumb, men torment them just for fun. Now we realize we have to rescue fellow women, not only among poorer people who got bashed up by their husbands, especially after football matches, but in the near and far east. Millions had to be rescued, even at the cost of local wars, which we condone just for that reason, I fear. So the blame and shame game shifted dramatically, ably assisted, of course, by the media. Patriarchy was to blame for all our misfortunes. To take an instance, some doctors had blamed mothers for killing their babies in cot deaths. Now it transpired it was the doctor's fault for recommending babies to sleep on their tummies. They tend to suffocate. When the blame and shame gets going, the innocent and the guilty are both targeted, and that's why it can be so terrible. Paranoid fears led to the Inquisition, witch burnings, and the Holocaust. Now the fearful-minded dread disguised alien reptilians, disguised as human celebrities. Making no exceptions, we blame men for mistreating women, children, and animals for vivisection. Well, you see, they did do all these things because they were running everything, because they were stronger than women until they did do vivisection. They invented and used weapons of mass destruction. And the increasing global warming, you see. So we were really innocent people standing aside while they went and sort of wiped out genocidal. Men are blamed for traumatizing the rising generation, so that children dare not play in the streets for fear of abusive men. The motto of the three wise monkeys has become its opposite. Think evil, see evil, hear evil. Suicides are increasing. There is good news. With my psychic capabilities, I have found that our parents, friends, and teachers exist in the next world, much the same, and know what we say of them, and suffer accordingly. Finding this out, I hastily changed my blame and shame game to the appreciation game. I appreciated all my mother did, taught me, and my father. I remembered the rich treasures given by me by all my teachers, wise with the ancient Chinese, to revere their ancestors there around. Friendly spirits bestow our paths with good fortune. Instead of blaming other cultures, other faiths for shortcomings, I now appreciated the earth's glorious history and all other people's religions and good side, because what is good is eternal and what is evil is a transient shadow. Marvelous are the ways of the goddess. Our temple of Isis in this new century begins to change, helped by my brother and other spirit friends. I found myself inspired to paint Isis and Osiris as twins on our interior windows. The glorious company of the goddesses are beginning to acquire new friends. The sea god of Manan has joined Brigid at our well. Poseidon, the god of Atlantis, has joined the goddess Demeter in our psychic shrine. Above all, the great winged Isis and the painting in our healing chapel has a newcomer. Behind the brilliant winged Isis of the stars now appears Osiris in spiritual blue-green form with outspread wings. And below, the bust of Tutankhamun, instead of portraying a gold mummy's clay head, is reborn as a mischievous boy, ruddy-faced, amused by our ways. The deities laugh with joy as we humans awaken.